Okay, nobody really asked for this, but we're going to do a walkthrough of our figure display as it currently stands. I have a lot of work to do with this, and there's actually more on the other side of the room, but we'll get to that later. But as for right now, this is going to just be a room tour setup, and I'll just kind of run through and hopefully not take too long and kind of explain some of my choices and some of the things that I got going on here. And plus, if you guys stick around on the channel and you guys check out these unboxings, you will see these collections grow and evolve and move over time. So I think it'll be kind of fun to just kind of document what I got going on. All right, let's get into it. So in general, just starting, I've got two bookshelves. I've kind of got them catty corner. Yeah, there's a gap in the back over there where the straw hat is, but we're not really worried about that right now. I'm not really putting anything over there anyway, but it just kind of makes a nice little L shape. I have a smaller, these things have just been with me. They just moved with me. So I've just got a smaller shelf there. And then I ended up having to buy this little rounded corner because I had enough space. So it kind of creates this little round and then straight. So that's kind of this little nook I've carved out into this corner. So it's kind of like a whole corner display of sorts. All right, as you can see, I'm kind of proud of it. It's pretty cool, but you know, I could definitely do more. But let me just show you what we got going on. So starting from the top of this little corner thing. Well, just in the top in general, right? So I have these really oversized figures of King, Queen, and Kaido that really kind of don't fit anywhere. So I just pretty much put them up here. I love this Kaido. I think this Kaido is so cool. He's huge. He's actually huge. And he doesn't fit in any other display. Queen is just, you know, a boss. So I got them up there, kind of just like the Beast Pirates. I have a Jack somewhere that I will unbox. And then I'll have to figure out how to squeeze Jack into this as well. The King I have here, I really like this figure. That's one of the reasons why I kind of got this set, was for this King. I think these are the Ichiban show, Kaido, King and Queen, and then I have a Jack, like I said, to unbox. The only thing that kind of sucked about this was that the original stand that this came with broke off for King. Somehow, like, it broke off in shipping, like the original little T stand. So I had to get one of these little off Amazon, these little makeshift stands. It ends up working because without it, this is very lopsided and he'll topple over. So I did just get a little. They came in like a set of like 20 of these, so I have some more if I ever need any in the future. But these kind of came in handy. So I got him resting on this base. You kind of can't even notice, but it's supposed to be just a regular, like a T stand that pokes into his back, and then it goes into, I think, his little fire stand. But like I said, that part broke. But yeah, it's one of my favorite figures. That King is one of my favorite. Kaido is just sick. Up top, let's see. I kind of just have these random figures. I have a Marco, a Buggy, and a Kinemon. I eventually want to get all of the samurai in this set. All of the scabbards. There you go. I forgot what they're called. Yeah, so the top row is pretty much just all generic One Piece stuff. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with those guys. Got a random straw hat there, and then it's just some kind of random leftover figures that I will figure out what to do with them. But anyway, yeah, this little corner thing, I kind of just have separated. I have a couple figures that are just kind of female coded, I guess we could call this. The 02 and the Strelitzia, and then another Strelitzia that I ended up kind of getting from my friend. She's a little lopsided because I didn't really set up the display that well. I think her name is Chica. I don't even know. This is the girl that does the Chica dance. That's the meme. That's the only reason why I got this, and it was super cheap. It was on sale. I got her for like 10 bucks. So I'm whatever. I'm not even that mad. Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. But I just think she's really cool. I will get around to finishing that game. I do have like a display that I want to set up with like kind of like a Japanese theme, and she's going in it. It's not set up right now, so these are just kind of like placeholder spots. And I have a random Dark Magician Girl, alternate color pop-up parade. Second shelf is our random kind of Power Ranger. I don't know, I think I got this at like a Toys R Us back when they were still operational. It's just like part of their legacy collection memorabilia thing. It's a little dusty, but on the back I have an All Might that I got from an anime convention for like 12 bucks or something like that. In the back here I have a little gotcha Aizawa. This is from Japan. My friends went to Japan and got me that. And then this is an Onikabuto from Genshin Impact. It's like 3D printed. And it's gonna go in the Japanese display whenever I get around to building it, which we'll get to. This shelf down here is just a bunch of these Madoka Magica figures that I got at a convention a long time ago. I've had them. And the only thing that kind of sucks is that my last apartment I had them kind of towards not directly facing sunlight, but enough to that their bases got a little yellowed out, which is a bit of a shame. But that's how I learned that you can't really put figures in direct sunlight. Didn't know that until then. Yep. Down here I have kind of a Gurren Lagann display going on. I have the 3 Gurren Lagann pop-up parades, the Kamina, Simon, Yoko. And then back there I have a Gurren Lagann. I want to kind of raise them up a little bit, but I do have more. I know there's a Nia that I have to unbox, and then I'm trying to get the Viral. He's a little sold out. And I do have a couple other Gurren Lagann figures that are going to go there. This space is empty right now, trying to figure out what goes there. Onto this shelf. So the way I kind of have it generally set up is that 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are devoted to One Piece. 1, 2, 3 go to Dragon Ball, and then down here I was trying to figure out what to do with it. Kind of ended up being a hodgepodge of stuff, but we'll get to it. So One Piece shelf number 1 is kind of my leftover random stuff that I've had forever that I just kind of don't really know where exactly to put them. I have a Jinbei back there that I got at an anime convention. I mean, a lot of these I got at anime conventions. These like character figures, these are some of my first figures. These ones like this Shanks and this alternate color Robin and the Hancock. This is I'm pretty sure this is actually counterfeit. I think I got it off Amazon or something, but it didn't have the official Funimation seal when I bought it, so it was a little sketch. But and his sword broke, so that's alright. I have another Zoro anyway. I don't even really like this figure that much, but it's just here. Monet, one of my first, like I said, these are some of my first figures. And this thing, I don't even know how I got, but it just depicts Luffy during Marineford at some point, riding Smoker. I don't remember that actually happening, but it's just a weird thing I have. A little black beard, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with this shelf. Down here, I kind of got more of an idea of what's going on, but it's still just a generic hodgepodge of characters. And again, I have some of my first figures, like these ones. These are some of the first figures I've ever gotten. And then I have some that in the back are the more deliberate ones I've purchased. But yeah, like a lot of these, like this Hancock, this little mini Hancock, this Ace, Sabo, Dragon, Koala, that Rebecca back there, Rebecca with the Lucy. Yeah, so these are a lot of random things I've just picked up. This Bonnie I picked up at anime conventions. This Hancock and that Bonnie were like a blind box. I got 2 blind boxes, and those are the ones I ended up getting. This Lucy, funny thing enough, so the idea, so at some point I decided I wanted to collect all of the Straw Hats, and that's why I have this Luffy in this, I think it's Figuarts Zero set that came out around Fishman Island. And that's why I have this Zoro, because he matches it, and I have a Chopper, and those are like the only 3 from the set. But I kind of gave up on that idea, and you'll see why in a minute. So I have this Luffy, and then coincidentally enough, for I think Christmas or my birthday or something like that, a friend got me this Lucy, which I, upon further inspection, realized, if this thing will focus, that Lucy is pretty much just that Luffy, but an alternate skin. So I find it kind of funny. So that's why I have them framing it. I mean, not that it matters that much, but I just put them on opposite sides because I thought it was funny. But in the back, so a couple, I forget what this is. The Grand Line Men, I think this set is called, with these guys like this size. I kind of like these guys for the price. I'm a purveyor of like cheaper figures. If I'm gonna spend money, it's got to be like something I really care about. But I really like these kind of like cheaper, like $30 to $40 range figures, because I can get more of them and like set up something cool. So what I wanted to end up doing was getting all of the supernovas, so of this set. So I have, you know, that's why I ended up getting Killer. I put them right here just for now, but I think I have about 4, right? I got Hawkins over there, and then Law, and then Kid, and then Killer. So more to come with that. That Robin was just a random Robin, Jesus Christ. That Nami was a random Nami that I got at a convention. I just thought was cute. And then some of these back here, I got this Vivi because it's from the same set as a Perona that I have that I'll show you guys later. But other than that, I just kind of just have these. This is the Glamours and Glitter, or Glitters and Glamours line. It usually just has just the cute girls or the women in a series, and just kind of make these like larger figures of them. And just throughout my collecting, I just ended up kind of getting, you know, this Hancock and Hiyori, that Ulti, which I really like, and then this Carrot is part of a set. Again, the contrast of Perona that I have, but I ended up putting all the Peronas somewhere else, so she's just kind of on her own. But I really like this Carrot because there's not a whole lot of Carrot figures even out there. So for one, representation is great, and then 2, she's dressed like Chopper, so it's like a Chopper Carrot kind of thing. So I thought that was cute. You know, I got to put the Revolutionaries together. I have those 3: Sabo, Dragon, Koala. So we're gonna kind of hop over here, I guess, because like I said, it's just kind of like the One Piece shelves. So here are the ones that are a little more deliberate in my planning of displays. So I kind of have this Luffy Ace Sabo kind of thing going on here with the old generation in the back, Roger and the Oden and the Whitebeard. So there's a bit of a story here, which I really find it kind of interesting. So this Sabo was actually the first one I got a long time ago, and it comes with these little kind of like that dome sound effect that's like always in the manga, which I thought was kind of cool. That's like part of the Sabo figure. The Sabo I got a long time ago, and the Sabo specifically has these translucent kind of flames on them, and I thought about it and I was like, oh, you know, it was just a one-off figure that I had. It's Figuarts Zero Sabo. I was like, all right, I really liked it. At the time, Sabo was like the new hotness, so I really liked Sabo. I don't really care for him that much anymore. He's all right. But anyway, and then a little later, I ended up getting this Ace. This Ace, I liked because it had that same. It's also Figuarts Zero. It has that same octagonal base with his name, and so is this one. He has the name Sabo. And I did like that it also has the same kind of translucent flame. So I got that Ace to kind of match the Sabo. But this Ace is from Marineford, obviously. And he has a matching Luffy that's also from Marineford. That is supposed to kind of complement him, and he's supposed to kind of be jumping up here with like Gear Second Punch or something like that. I didn't really care for the Luffy so much because at the time we were in the time skip. So I was like, I don't really want to Sabo, who appeared in post time skip, with an Ace, who, you know, he can appear in post time skip, but with an Ace and then a pre time skip Luffy. So I wanted a post time skip Luffy with translucent flames, and I literally just held out and waited and waited and waited and waited until they finally came out with one, which is this one, who, in my opinion, this is Luffy at his like finest. Because he's got like the black cape from the rooftop of Wano, and he's got the translucent flames, whatever. Not as translucent as Ace is. He's got like the most kind of going on. But either way, the idea is here. It's the 3 brothers, and they're all on fire. And the cool thing is that this fire acts as a base. So it's not really like a base. I can just lift him on and off. This base is Luffy's base that actually came with the Ace base. If that makes sense, because like I said, there was a matching Luffy figure that, weirdly enough, they gave you 2 stands in the Ace box, even though I guess I don't know how that's supposed to work, but so I ended up with Luffy's. Oh, that's how it's supposed to work. So this is just Aces, and then if you had the Luffy, they give you this one, and then this is supposed to be for the both of them. All right, I see how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't matter. because I'm not ever getting that Luffy, so I just ended up using this one. So all three of them are kind of on this like Brothers of Inherited Fire kind of display, and I put the old generation in the back to kind of represent them as well, you know, whatever. And then I put the Dawn sound effect over on this side to kind of balance it out. So I've kind of got like this, kind of like, you know, that's like the idea there. I thought it was kind of neat. Down here, I would spend too much time talking about them, but if you couldn't guess, Perona is my favorite character in the series. And over the years, literally over like the 15 or so years I've been going to anime conventions, I've just been slowly amassing a collection of Perona figures. Some cheap, some expensive, some big, some small. I think currently the most expensive one I own is actually this one, who is like 170 or something like that. But that there in the back is the Perona that matches that Vivi, and then back there in the back is the Perona dressed as Kumasi that's from the same line as this Carrot. And then I have her next to Kumasi, so you can kind of get the reference there. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about this because, like I said, I could go on and on about exactly where each one comes from and why I like them and whatever. But I do have a couple more to unbox, so stay tuned for that. And then the final One Piece display is literally just the Straw Hats, which is another kind of interesting story in my opinion, where, like I said, I was kind of collecting this figure set, but then they made a figure set that's specifically meant for the Straw Hats to be displayed together. And that is the 20th anniversary, or I think it's 20th anniversary, 25th, something like that, Straw Hat, which all these guys, I don't have them in their correct poses, but they are supposed to be together as a set, which I thought was kind of neat. And when they are all put together, it is actually a reference to a piece of art that Eiichiro Oda drew as a volume cover. And that's how you get me. That scratches my exact itch of, it's a cool display, I can put all the Straw Hats together, and it's based on like canon artwork from Oda, which is just a neat little Easter egg. It's not just random characters and random posing, it's like based on art from the actual creator. So it just feels really cool. A couple things I like about this set is that they come on, there's more of these, I just didn't have space to put them all out, but they come on these like wooden planks that kind of simulate that they're like on a deck of a ship, which I think is kind of neat. And like I said, they all kind of connect together, so you kind of get this unity thing here. They have, this is Horn Point, I believe, Chopper from Time Skip, which they also have in this set, the regular Chopper, but I think Horn Point Chopper is actually as cool as looking form. So just plus to, like, for me personally, I just think that's really neat that I have like all the Straw Hats and I have Chopper looking like his most badass. And also the fun thing about this is that this art came out, like the art that this set is based off, came out during Fishman Island. So Jinbei's here, which, if you're, spoiler alert, if you're caught up, Jinbei is actually now a Straw Hat. So it ended up being just kind of like funny that it worked out that way. I mean, it's not funny, like I'm sure Oda planned it, but it's just, it's good because now it's like I literally have all the Straw Hats. Like it wasn't like it was just these guys, and like if there wasn't a Jinbei, I would have had to like try to find a Jinbei that fit, and that would have been a whole thing. But it's like, no, like the whole thing from the get-go included Jinbei, even though it's based off art from Fishman Island. He was just in that picture, so it's like, all right, cool, like he's now a Straw Hat. It all makes sense, it all works together. And then I got some play money, play treasure chests from like Amazon, strewn about, kind of like the random money to kind of give a sense of pirates. Oh, and Yamato's back there. Yamato's gonna join, so don't fight me on that. Anyway, so we're going to the Dragon Ball shelf now. I'm going to kind of run through these kind of fast just because it's Dragon Ball. There's not too much really to talk about. There's just a couple things going on here that I just kind of personally liked. I'm really a fan of this match. There's a set called Matchmakers where it's essentially two Dragon Ball characters that fought each other, and they're kind of just meant to be displayed together. You buy them separately, obviously, but then you can put them together and they kind of show a little fight scene. So like, I have the Matchmakers of Demon King Piccolo and Kid Goku. This 18 is one of the only 18s I could find, but she's a matchmaker. She's supposed to go with the trunks, but I don't have the trunks, and I don't care to have the trunks because I really wanted a 17 and 18 thing. So I have Android 17 and 18 here, and then I have a future Gohan back there, but he's, I don't know, like I was trying to set up a thing, if you could tell, but the future Gohan back there is like way too big, and he throws off the scale because he's like way bigger than them. So I'm kind of scrapping that idea, but I have 17 and 18. And then I have kind of the two fusions. So I was thinking of doing a Goku and Vegeta kind of display thing. I have these two Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegetas that I really like because they're meant to go together. Their bases fit together. They're like on clouds or something. And then back there I have a Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So the three of them kind of make a nice little trio of the Super Saiyan 4 and then the fusions. And then I just have the two of the general fusions. I forget what set this is, but I just thought like Gogeta and Vegito just always seem really cool when put together specifically. Like, I mean, I like Gogeta. I like Z Gogeta way more than Broly Gogeta, if you ask me, whatever. Like, that's kind of a hot take, but I think Z Gogeta has so much aura, and like Super Gogeta, he's cool. He's definitely cool, but like, I don't know. Like, there's something about Z. It's probably just because he's so mysterious. He just shows up in a movie and that's all you get of him. Like this one, he's like the star of the show. He's like way too cocky, and like he's like a big chunk of GT. Well, he's a part of GT or whatever. But the thing about him just showing up in a movie and then like he doesn't talk much, you don't get a lot of his personality, he's just badass, really did it for me. Like Broly Gogeta or Super Broly Gogeta, he's the star too much. It's kind of like the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta effect, where it's like you have a lot of exposure to him, so there's a lot to like about him, but then there's also a lot to like not like about him, so it's like a mixed bag. I'm not saying I don't like him, but it's like, I don't know, the whole draw is watch how cool Gogeta is when he fights Broly, whereas in the Janemba movie it's pretty much just like, here's the miracle warrior that's just gonna save the day in like one fell swoop, and it's just like, damn, like that's like I wish we got more of them. Like, and whatever, I guess you end up getting more of them, but it's just like, I don't know. That's a story for another day. I don't really know how to articulate those feelings, but yeah, anyway, I just really like Z Gogeta. But anyway, when you pair up Z Gogeta or Gogeta in general with Vegito, any time you do that, it's always just badass to me. So I just put those two together and kind of like fight pose. So that's my first Dragon Ball shelf. The second Dragon Ball shelf is just kind of a little more random, slightly. I have the Matchmaker set of Piccolo and Goku from like the tournament era. Well, I forget which tournament it is. 23rd? 22nd? 23rd? 23rd, I think. 22nd was with Tien. 21st was with like the first one, whatever. Roshi. Matchmakers, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Jesus, Super Saiyan Gogeta and Frieza. What I kind of wanted to do is, there's a bunch of matchmaker sets, like some of them have Vegeta in them or whatever, and like I said, the 18 went with the trunks, but I kind of wanted to get all the ones that had Goku in them, just to do like a timeline. So I have like Kid Goku fighting his enemy, Teen Goku fighting his enemy, a pivotal moment of Super Saiyan Goku fighting his enemy, and then like so on and so forth. And then I have a Goku and Oob that I have to unbox too, but other than that, that's like all I can think about, or that's all I can think exists. But that's kind of the idea there. So maybe at some point I'll set up that all together as like a Goku kind of like through the years thing. Videl back there, just because she's my favorite, one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters. Just definitely my favorite girl character. This Bardock I just thought was sick, so I just got him. He's like the manga dimensions one, so he kind of has that like 2D painter effect, which comes across really good like on screen and in pictures, but it kind of like throws you off in person. It's crazy. This Trunks I got at a convention. This one I've also got at a convention, but I've had this Trunks forever. I don't even know. I got it unboxed. I don't even know what set it's from. It's just like a random trunk. I don't even know if it's official or not, or licensed or whatever. This Broly I got. I just thought it was cool because of the colors. You always get the gold hair Broly or just gold hair Super Saiyan, but I got the one that's in. It comes in both. It's alternate, but I got the movie version. Well, the first movie version. The second one is, I guess, the second movie version, but I just thought that was cool. And it's like that iconic pose from when he's like rising out of the water or some shit like that. Then I have a Super Broly because I do have a Super Gogeta that I'm gonna pair up with him, just because he's like Super Saiyan Blue. And then my last Dragon Ball shelf is just kind of more of a hodgepodge. I mean, there's kind of a theme, like Videl's back there. She's a glitters and glamours Videl, and there's really no reason for her to be back there. And I have like a Trunks, who I also have. But I kind of want to do something with like these 5 I got going on, because these are all from the GX Materia line. And I really like the GX Materia line because they're, so the thing with Dragon Ball figures is I feel like we're only recently, when I say recently, maybe like the last 5-6 years, seeing a lot of high quality, like officially licensed Dragon Ball figures. And usually they're kind of more in the realm of like this, just characters doing cool action poses. But Dragon Ball's always about the attacks and like the beams and the sparkles and the whatever, the secret techniques and all that shit. So it's like yeah, it's really cool that like there's a whole line, and the materia is like these are the materia. They kind of got that sparkly energy texture to them. So it's all showcasing characters in the middle of their attacks with the materia, which is whatever they're using to attack. And I was like, it's really cool to have a set of characters in them actually using their attack with the effects. You don't actually see that a lot for this price point. I guess that's also the caveat for like these price points, like in that $30 to $40 or $25 to like $40 range ish. Yeah, it's like you don't get that. So I really like these figures, and I don't know, I'm really picky with which ones I get too, because there's a lot more. There's like Raccoon and Nappa and Kid Buu, but the Kid Buu is pretty much doing the same thing as the Frieza, so I don't really care that much for it. But yeah, if there's more, I want to see if I can try and get some more. But yeah, kind of like the display there. Down here is just kind of some random stuff. It's pretty much all just Chopper and Cute based, because that's just what I have left over. Just a random Chopper plush. I think this is like baby Chopper, baby Grandpa Chopper from Wano, and the 1000 Sunny. I have a 1000 Sunny, and then back there is also the Going Merry like set. What do you call it? A model kit. I have to do that eventually. Got some Choppers and the Sunny from Film Red, I think, that like never went anywhere. And then that's the Chopper that kind of goes with the Luffy and Zoro from the Figuarts Zero set that I just kind of scrapped on collecting. Alright, like I said, I'm gonna run through that fast. Moving on to this little shelf display that's very unfinished, so I have space to work with, which is pretty cool. But again, starting from the top, it's pretty much my Tales of display. You can kind of get a better picture, sort of. As you can tell, kind of a massive Tales fan. Been playing since Symphonia, pretty much played every game. So since Symphonia, every like mainline game. I don't play like the spin-offs or whatever, so I guess don't at me on that one. But pretty much just trying to make these look as cool as possible. I got some of the collector's edition boxes of Cilia 1 and 2 and Berseria and Zestiria over there. I do have the collector's edition box of Tales of Arise, but I think it's in storage, so I didn't really have a spot to put it. I had some of the game cases out, just like the really iconic ones like Abyss. Legendia is a whole thing. I know people hate that game, but I played it. I didn't hate it. Like, it was alright. There's only like a couple characters I really liked. But the thing was that I let a friend of mine a long time ago borrow it, and then he lost it. So I just like wanted it. I just wanted the copy. It was always like the Tales game that I had, but then lost. And I spent literally like 9 or so years checking conventions and game stores trying to find a copy of this place. And I never really did until a friend of mine went to like Washington, and he's like, "Hey, yo, isn't this that game that you've been like looking for?" And it was Tales of Legendia, and I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Can you buy it? I'll pay you for it." So he actually got it for me, so it was pretty sick. Came in clutch. That's the only reason why I'm displaying it, because it was kind of like a hard find. Oh, well, like I could find it at conventions, but it was always expensive. That's basically also the thing. Like, he got it and it was $20, but at conventions it's like $56. I'm like, yeah, I ain't paying that much. I have the special edition, collector's edition little statue that came with the Arise special edition. I have these, I forget what they're called. Q something. These little cutie little things, whatever. These came with I believe there's a stereo special edition. Yeah, there was a stereo characters, that kind of makes sense. And then the ones up here came with the Berseria special edition, because they're Berseria characters. And then I got L, who came with the Exilia 2 special edition. So I have these two big cases here. This one, they're the same acrylic kind of case. This one just kind of houses my big figures from the Tales franchise. I'm trying to get that glare off the screen, but yeah, the Mila over here and the Luger came with the collector's editions, the respective ones of 1 and 2. So I kind of got them going on. This Natalia I got at an anime convention, and I got her cheap, unboxed, and at a discount because she's missing her arrow, which kind of sucks. But Natalia was like, I had a crush on her, which was kind of a hot take because like who cares about Natalia? But she's one of my favorite Tales characters. I gotta replay Tales of the Abyss. But anyway, but I played through that game twice. Once on the PlayStation and then another time on the DS. And then on the DS version, I mained Natalia and I had a lot of fun because she's like bad. Like don't play her, but you can like make her. I don't even say good. You can just make her good enough or whatever. And it's kind of like a challenge. And then I have this Rita that I got for like my birthday or something like that. Rita's, I don't even want to say Rita's my favorite character in Vesperia because she isn't, but she kind of is. When I played the OG one on the Xbox, I mained Rita. Like I switched to maining Rita. And I think Vesperia is the first game that I initially beat not as the main character because I was playing Rita. I think I did come in and play Yuri like at the very end because I think you're forced to, but yeah, I really like her. She's actually really fun in that game, and once you like make her broken, like when you can like have her fly around and link her fireball 12 times into like eruption, she gets kind of fun. She makes magic fun. Then over here is kind of just it's like a hodgepodge kind of thing. I'm trying to get this glare off. Down here is kind of a little Symphonia shrine. I got the 2 games and a little Kendama comment if you know why I put that in there. But then I also just have this thing. This was from Exilia 2. I just put that in there just because it just looks like it should be displayed nice. I didn't really know what else to fill that space with. So if I had something else more Symphonia-like, I put that in there. But that's just a little tribute to Symphonia. It's actually my favorite game. I mean, up here is kind of more what I got. I got the game cases for Graces, Vesperia Definitive, and then Symphonia Chronicles. I will put Symphonia Chronicles down here, but I actually just didn't have the space for it. But anyway, and then I have these kind of gotcha, I think they're Kotobukiya figures that I almost have the whole set of the entire Vesperia cast. I'm just missing Flynn. But I got Raven, Rita, Estelle back there, or Estelle's in the front right here, and then Yuri, then Rapide, Carol, Patty, Judith, and then Duke in the middle back there. So I got pretty much everybody. And I'm keeping them in this case just because Vesperia is also one of my... Vesperia is definitely like my second favorite game, but it's... A lot of these figures are very fragile. They have very fragile parts, and I've already broken some things like Estelle's weapon. She's supposed to be holding like a little morning star. I broke that. Rapide's pipe is very prone to just falling out of his mouth, and like I've lost it before and then refound it. It's just like it's just a lot going on. But anyway, so that's why they're in here. Keep them safe. And then down here is pretty much all random bullshit. Like I have some Splatoon Figmas, and then Callie and Marie plush with like I have like a Splatoon keychain or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. Down here is the model kit of the Sunny that isn't complete, but we started it, and I have a random Infernape down there. That's just random. So again, I just don't have space for this. So once I figure out what to do with the 1000 Sunny, I'll put it somewhere. Ideally, I'd want it to go wherever these guys go, because then you have the whole Straw Hats and then their ships. But space isn't really big enough unless I start moving these shelves. But alright, that's a very quick run through, and I say quick, but it's already been 25 minutes. The video's gonna be long, but that's a run through of what I got going on in this space. So let's do another we're gonna finish it out with the bookshelf displays and the other wall. So I'll see you in a second. All right, the second part of the setup. It is basically a bookcase here, a display case, our TV with our consoles, another display case, another bookcase, an amiibo display, and then we have some 3 baseball cases over there. So let's kind of just run through pretty quick what we got going on. We have this side is basically all of our shonen manga. As much as I'm pretty sure everything over on this side is Shonen Jump specifically, which I did on purpose. We have Shaman King and our couple Shaman King figures, Anna and Hao, you know, Black Cat. I'm not gonna go through all the manga, but we can do that at some point. But right here in the center is just all my One Piece, which I've been collecting the box sets, so that's why I have so much. I'm not collecting each one individually, but I've amassed all the box sets plus the color walks. And again, here are some of those like cheap figures I would pick up for like 20 bucks at anime conventions. These were some of my first ones. It's Tashigi, Baby 5, Kami, Mihawk, all that stuff. So I really had no spot to put them. I could have put them back on the other wall, but I just wanted to jazz up this side. So that's where they go. And down here is empty pretty much. So I have some more manga. Nothing to put here yet. And then I have actual Shonen Jump volumes from back in the day. Nothing to put down there. The actual display case is meant to complement. There's 2 of them, one on each side. So these are kind of where some of my kind of more ambitious idea for displays are gonna go. So for example, this one right now has a mix of different franchises, but the kind of idea is gonna be like Magical Girl-esque. So we're gonna have a Magical Girl case with this, I just realized that's not a very flattering angle of Nia, but this Nia from Gurren Lagann, who's kind of like Magical Girl Nia. Another Dark Magician girl came from Japan, a friend of mine got it from Japan, it's pretty sick. Down here I want to do a Luffy display specifically. It's going to be the gears, so I did pick up, the same friend got me, I mean I paid him for them, but he picked me up a Snake Man and a Gear 5 Luffy from the King of Artists, which I don't have too many King of Artists, so I'll be pretty stoked to unbox that and kind of give my thoughts on those. But I do have another set coming in of like other of Luffy's gears, 1, 2, and 3. Well, really just 2 and 3, I guess, and 4, another Gear 4 figure. Down here is where I'm going to do that display I was talking about with Samurai Goes. Right now it's pretty much just a placeholder, but I have the box for Momohime from Muramasa. Shoutouts if you've ever played that game. And then down here I'm going to do probably a Digimon, well I'm definitely doing a Digimon thing, but it's just going to be specifically a display showcasing, kind of like hyping up Omnimon, Omegamon. I do have some figures that I will unbox on the channel that focus around Tai and Matt and their Digimon, and it's kind of the same thing I'm doing with Naruto and Sasuke, but with Tai and Matt, and it's going to culminate with Omegamon here in the center. Skipping over to the other side of the display, I do have a Dragon Ball / Akira Toriyama tribute kind of thing going on here, and I call it an Akira Toriyama tribute just because right now it's just fully Dragon Ball, but I do have a figure of Beelzebub from Sandland coming in, and I'm gonna put him in here, and then the minute he comes in here, it now all of a sudden becomes not solely Dragon Ball, and it becomes a Akira Toriyama tribute thing. Still on the lookout for anything else Toriyama related, like a Dr. Slump figure or something. If I can find a Rayleigh, I'd probably put it in here as well. But I really like the kind of Akira Toriyama robot, just as Goku, as the centerpiece. Even though it's not expensive or anything, it's just a really cool touch. And then that Goku is only over there because I kind of had no other place to put him. I think I really like that picture, or I really like that figure. It's like GT Goku. And then a little, this is actually a light, the 4-star Dragon Ball, but it just doesn't have batteries. But one day I'll put that in there. Here is a little shrine, I guess, tribute to probably my most expensive figure is this Genshin Impact Ningguang. So that's where she sits. I had to get the Vision keychain off Etsy. Still trying to figure out a good spot to kind of put it. I think it looks good there. It doesn't really stand out or anything. It just kind of looks like it's supposed to be a part of the display, which I kind of like. And then acrylic Ningguang stand in there from Japan as well. So kind of got a little Ningguang thing going on. Don't really think I'll alter this too much because it's just Ningguang. So down here is empty and down here is empty. So I have 2 empty spaces. Here is where I plan to do a Naruto and Sasuke kind of display. It's pretty much just going to be, I have a bunch of figures, I still have to unbox them, but it's going to be a bunch of Naruto and Sasuke throughout the years, when they're kids, when they're Shippuden, when they're adults in Boruto. And I just kind of wanted to put a spot for like all of them. I want to crowd this place up with Naruto and Sasuke. So some of these, that's kind of like my general philosophy with some of these displays, is just crowd the hell out of it. Like I like how this one's coming along because it's pretty crowded, but we can go more. And I do plan on crowding the Naruto and Sasuke one down there. For instance, like this is just one figure and then a little acrylic display, but just like the one figure, I feel like it does make it look good. It makes it look kind of like expensive, and she is expensive, so that kind of makes sense. But generally speaking, I do like to see crowded displays like that. I think that is just a really neat look, that kind of overcrowding. And then down there at that bottom space, don't know, anything could go there. I haven't really figured out a general theme, so we're kind of keeping that open for like a wild card thing. But definitely putting Naruto and Sasuke there, and then Luffy's over there and all that jazz. Going above the TV a little bit, we have our Super Smash Bros. Display, which is all of the amiibo I've been collecting since like 2013 or something, whenever they came out. I've managed to collect every one in the Smash line specifically, except for the Mii fighters and the alt color of Rob, which I just don't care about them. Like, I don't care to have a second Rob, and then the Mii fighters, don't care about them either. So I don't have them. As you see, there's some empty spots because I haven't unboxed all of them, which we will do on the channel. But once I unbox them, we'll see, I'll put them up, and then we'll see the collection grow. There's some teddy bears over there, and we'll see the collection grow as well. Up top, I just have some general Smash things, like some box cover, the box arts. I've owned every Smash game except for the 3DS one. Sadly, I don't have the box for the N64 one because I had that when I was a kid, and I guess I probably traded it in or something like that because I was a kid and I was dumb, which really hurts me. But if I still had my Smash 64, I would definitely display that case. But Smash Champion belt, I got somewhere, I don't know, it was like a pre-order bonus or something, or GameStop was handing them out. And then that sign, I have you can't really see it that well, but it lights up. It's like a light up there. You can choose whatever color. It just doesn't have batteries, so I just don't, it's just white for now. But if that was on, it would look pretty cool. And then I have the Super Smash Bros. 64 logo thing that I picked up at Fan Expo, I think. So that was pretty cheap. That was like 20 bucks or something. I figured that would look pretty nice there. And then I do also have like this I got off Etsy of Master Hand. I just don't know where I'm gonna put them. I want to put them somewhere. But the general vibe, I don't know if you figured out the ordering yet. If you can tell at a glance, pause it if you can, and then maybe put it in the comments if you can figure out how I sorted them. All right, ready? I'll give the answer in 5, 4, 3. Remember, go ahead, put it in the comments. What is the sorting kind of scheme here? Can you figure it out? All right, big ups if you can figure it out. But here comes the answer. So pretty much, I was kind of split on how I wanted to display them, but essentially what I'm doing is that this first row is crammed with the original 64 cast. So that's all 12 fighters that are in 64. So boom, got them out the way, they're front and center. Then from there, you pretty much just go up 1, 2, 3, and then in the middle 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. So the only thing that really kind of throws it off chronologically is this top row here, since it's the 64 crew. But it just didn't feel good having everything centered for this display and then putting the 64 crew like all the way up there. Just didn't really like feel good. So once you get past the 64 crew, it's pretty much these next two are everybody that was introduced in Melee. I tried to keep people together with the games. There's some exceptions, like Crom is with Roy just because he's an Echo and I couldn't fit him. He would be too crowded over here. And Daisy's with Peach for that same reason. But essentially just everybody debuted in 64. Then I have everybody that debuted in Brawl Shelf 1, Brawl Shelf 2. Then I start to move on to everybody that debuted in Smash 4, Smash 4 Shelf 1, Smash 4 Shelf 2, and then pretty much everybody that debuted in Smash Ultimate just gets allocated to these two. Hopefully I can fit everybody, but all that's left is Pyra, Mithra, and Sora, and Sephiroth, and Kazuya. So we'll see if we can fit everybody. Hopefully we can, because I like keeping people to their respective shelves. Like I don't want to have to sacrifice by moving some of these people up just because, yeah, like there is more space up here, like I'm not gonna lie, but moving people up just would kind of break the idea here of like, this is a Smash 4 shelf, this is a Smash Ultimate shelf. But yeah, that's the Smash display. Hope you like that. I think I'm pretty proud of that. I think it's pretty cool. There's not really too much to talk about on this shelf. It is a display case. We got some leftover manga on the top half, video games, and some DVDs, and then down here is mostly just books. So not too much, I don't know, like I guess I could start putting figures on there, but I don't really think I have too much that would make sense. Like over here on the manga shelf, like I have figures for One Piece and Shaman King and stuff, so that kind of makes sense. But over here, yeah, not too entirely sure. All right, last thing we're moving on to are our 3 baseball display cases that kind of just hodgepodge of things. Starting from the top, it's pretty much just the Animal Crossing amiibo line. It's pretty much the entire line there. Not really too much else to say about that. This middle shelf I'm a little proud of. It's a little kind of Game Boy shrine I got going on. Another personal thing of mine is I want to collect every Pokemon game, every mainline Pokemon game. And I have a lot of them through my childhood, but there's a couple that I still have to hunt. But in this day and age, in current year, being able to have red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, and then ruby and sapphire, still looking for an emerald. But being able to have those legit copies of these games, I just wanted to show them off and give them their own little display. Let's see, my original Game Boy from back in the day, my DS Lite that I got so many hours in Diamond and Pearl, or Diamond in that game. Game Boy Advance SP, kind of got like a green thing going on there. I don't even like green as a color, but the 2 Pokeballs there. What else got going on? Oh, and then this Game Boy sign in the middle, I got at the same time that I got that Smash Bros sign. It was at a, it was just like a booth. They're 3D printed, but it's at a booth at Fan Expo. And then up top, I just have some random Pokemon figures that I've amassed over the years. That Lucario I got at a convention, that Mega Charizard Y and X I got at conventions, that Garchomp I got at a convention, now that I think about it. The Kyurem I don't know where I got. The Pikachu is a Christmas ornament. That Ho-Oh is a pre-order bonus that I got from a friend because I pre-ordered Soul Silver. Giratina was a pre-order bonus, and that Rayquaza was from Japan, I think, something like that. Okay, so the last shelf I totally forgot is the Splatoon shelf. Yes, I really like Splatoon. Played the hell out of the first 2 games. Still haven't touched the 3rd one yet, which is a shame. Life just got busy, but Splatoon is one of my favorite franchises. Definitely to come out in the last like 10 years. Like I just got hooked on it like from the get-go. But collecting every Splatoon amiibo, and I have them color-coded in kind of like a rainbow thing. Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet type shit. So, and then up top I just have some random weapons that I think I got from a convention or something like that. But yeah, the Splatoon shelf, if they make any more Splatoon amiibo, I gotta reconsider my life options, because like some people just aren't making the cut. Like some of the random ones, like the blue boy or something, I don't know, but or some of the squids might have to get out of here. But because they are crammed. This is the most crammed baseball shelf. I don't even know how I got all of them in there. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There's 22 amiibo in here. Some are like in like, you can kind of see, they're kind of like caddy, what do you call it? Like, not caddy corner, but like staggered, like front and back, front and back, front and back, just to make as much room as possible. So I still probably could squeeze a little bit more in, but it would get super tight in there. So, alright, anyway, that's the entire display, all my displays and all that jazz. There are a couple more shelves that I do have around the house, so maybe some places might go to some random spots, but generally speaking, anything I unbox is probably going to go to some of these locations. If you have any comments, comment them below, leave a like, all that good jazz, and I will catch you guys. Let's start the unboxing. Let's go do some right now, actually. Go watch one.